Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone is doing well. So as promised, today I'm sharing how to make potato fufu with the potato flour we made in our previous video. I'll link that video in the description box in case you haven't seen it. So in this video, I'll show you 3 different ways you can make potato fufu at home. So if you're interested, keep watching. So for the first method, I'm going to be using some Irish potatoes. This is one way to use up your potatoes before they start going bad. You can also use sweet potatoes to do this. But if you're on a low carb diet, I think you should stick with this one. So I have washed the potatoes. Now I'm going to peel them and place it in water so they don't change color. Next, I'm going to cut them into tiny pieces just like this to help the blender. After cutting, next I'm going to add it into a blender, add a little amount of water, and then I'll add some Quaker oats. The job of the Quaker oat here is to help bind the potato fufu. The starch in Irish potatoes is not as heavy as the starch we find in yam and in cassava, for instance. So the job of the Quaker oat here is to help give it some weight. Yes, in a layman's words, we can say the job of the Quaker oat in this particular method is to help give it some weight. So once I'm done blending, it is smooth. I'm going to pour it into a pot and then start stirring as if your life depends on it. You have to start stirring non-stop until it thickens up. Then I realized that a whisk can do a better job, so I switched and continued to whisk until it became stiff. So once it thickens up like this, I'll go back to my spatula and then continue to stir again. At this point, you see some soft lumps. Don't worry, those ones can easily break up. Just continue to stir, pressing the fufu to the side of the pot just like this until it becomes smooth. So once it has become smooth like this, it is not cooked though, it's still raw. So I'm going to add very little amount of water and then cover it so it can cook for another 5 to 7 minutes. When working with this method, that is a fresh potato fufu method, you want to be very careful with water. So add very little amount of water and then just let it cook. So because I was using a non-stick pot, you can see some of them already stuck to the bottom of the pot. So I was just taking them out right there. Stir everything together and the first method is ready. So once I take it off the heat, I'll transfer it onto a plastic wrap so it does not dry out. And yeah, in about 10 minutes, my potato fufu is ready. And this is it for the first method. So for the second method, we're going to be using the dehydrated potatoes or the sun-dried ones if you use sun. And in my previous video, I showed how we achieved this. Again, I'm going to link that video in the description box area. This one was the one we used citric acid and lime juice on. So I've boiled up some water now. Once it boils, I'm going to add 1 cup of the potato flour and 2 tablespoons of some ground Quaker oats or oatmeal. Again, the oatmeal is going to serve as a binder, to help give it some weight. Even though something happened in the third method that shocked me, so Keep watching. So once I add everything in, I'm going to stir until it is thoroughly combined. Then I'm going to add little amount of water, cover and let it cook for about 5 minutes, and then I'll come back after 5 minutes. So 5 minutes later, I'm going to now stir to make sure everything is properly combined, and at this point the potato fufu is cooked as well. So I'm just going to stir to combine, and the second one is ready as well. One thrilling thing for me with this second method was the color of the potato fufu. As you can see, it did not change, it remained the same, which means the citric acid and the lime juice did a really good job. Even with the first method, the color changed at some point, because I'm going to compare it with this one in the next scene, and you can see that the color is not the same, but this one remained. Finally, for the third method, I'm going to bring some water to a boil. Then I'll add some olive oil. Next, I'm going to add 1 cup of the potato flour, but then this potato flour was the one we made in the previous video without adding any lime juice or citric acid. It was just cut and dehydrated or sun-dried. Next, I'm going to just mix everything to combine, add some more water and let it cook for about 5 minutes, you know, just the same way you make your regular fufu, and then come back and stir again. So after about 5 minutes, the fufu is cooked now. I'm going to stir again until everything is properly combined. Don't worry about the color. Like I said, this is 100% edible, safe to eat. It's just the color, which was a result of oxidation that took place when we were drying it out. And this is it for the third method. Now, one thing that really shocked me with the third method is, if you notice, I did not add any oatmeal flour to this third method, but as you can see, it is quite firm. Even though all I added was olive oil and the fufu flour, it still came out firm. This is the science that comes with cooking. You know, maybe because we already dried the potatoes, and then the first method was fresh potatoes that we just blended. I don't know, but you can see they both came out firm. And now comparing them side by side, one of them was with citric acid and lime, while the other one was just cut and dried straight up. They both came out firm, but as you can see, the 3 different methods came out with 3 different colors. So next, I'm going to open them up for you to see. This one was the one that we did not add any oatmeal flour to. All I added to this was olive oil, and as you can see, it still came out really firm. Even though it was still hot at this point, it was still very firm. This other one was a citric acid one that I added oatmeal flour to. You can see it came out firm as well. And then finally, I have the first method we made, which was the fresh potato fufu one. And as you can see, it is moldable, but then it was a little bit too soft. This method is best when you want to eat it, just make it and eat it, because by the next morning, the other 2 was still very good, but then the first method was beginning to look somehow. Maybe because I didn't put it in the fridge, I left it on my kitchen counter. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, share, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.